Good morning, dear students. See, in the last class, we have discussed about the different mechanisms or the metrics which we can use to measure the quality of the data that has been collected. That is, we have studied about the measures like precision, okay, and then bias, and then accuracy. Okay, so apart from that, we have seen what is an outlier. Okay, then what are the missing values which are present in the data, and then how we can deal with the missing data. What are the strategies we can use to deal with the missing data that we have seen. Okay, and then we have seen what is an inconsistent data. Okay, and then what is duplicate data. Okay, so these are all the things we have studied. Apart from that, we have seen the three issues that are related to the quality of the data at the end applications. That is, one is timeliness, okay, and then relevance, and then third one is knowledge about the data. Okay, so till this we have studied in the last class. Okay, so now coming to the next topic, that is about the data pre-processing. Okay, so in the beginning of this chapter, okay, so while explaining the KDD process, knowledge discovery in the databases process. Okay, so I had shown that see, there are three steps in the KDD process. One is data pre-processing. After that, we will be performing data mining, and then third one is data post-processing. Okay, so this data pre-processing, see, one of the key elements of the KDD process. Okay, and also I told that see, it is very time consuming and also very laborious process. Okay, so more amount of time will be spent in data pre-processing step in the KDD process, and also it requires large number of that is labors to perform this task. Okay, so then what is this data pre-processing is? See, data pre-processing, as I said, we will be converting the raw input data which we have got. Okay, so the raw input data will be either present in the form of flat files or relational tables. Okay, so or from other external sources. So we'll be collecting that data, so that raw input data, see, I need to convert that into an appropriate form for data analysis. Okay, so this process of converting the raw input data into an appropriate form of data, so that is called as data pre-processing. So in the data pre-processing, we will be converting the raw input data into a form that is suitable for performing the data analysis using data mining. Okay. So I told some of the methods which we will be using in the data pre-processing, like fusing or combining the data from the multiple sources. That is one of the steps that will be done in data pre-processing. And then removing of the noise or the errors and the anomalies which are present in the data. That is also one of the step in the data pre-processing. And then see, one more step is that is one example I've given, that is selecting only a subset of features. Okay, so or selecting only appropriate features, that is called as subset selection, feature subset selection. That is also one of the steps in the data pre-processing. Okay, so in just brief, we had studied that in the that is KDD process. So now in detail, we shall study about what are the steps that are involved in data pre-processing now. Okay. So just remember that data pre-processing is nothing but, see, it is the process of converting the raw input data which is present in the different sources, like that is flat files, okay, then relational tables, and then other external sources. See, that data will be converted into a form that is suitable for performing the data analysis using data mining. So this complete process is called as data pre-processing. Okay. So in case of data pre-processing in general, I will tell some of the steps here. That is, we will be combining or fusing the data from the multiple sources, or even removing of the errors, okay, anomalies, and then missing values or duplicate values. See, that also comes under data pre-processing. And then selecting only a subset of features that is required for my task. That is also one kind of a data pre-processing. Okay. So now this data pre-processing, it has got many different techniques and the strategies. See, many that is methods or the techniques we have got in order to perform this data pre-processing. Okay. So I have listed some of the techniques or the methods which we will be using here, like aggregation, okay, then sampling, dimensionality reduction, feature subset selection, feature creation, discretization and binarization, and then variable transformation. See, all these methods and the strategies we need to use in order to pre-process the data. So in detail, we shall study about this now. So these are the different techniques which are available here. Okay, so with the help of these techniques, we can transform the data into a suitable form. Okay, so now let's see. So what is aggregation is? That is first pre-processing technique or the method. Okay, so aggregation, see, as the word says here, see, aggregation is nothing but combining or joining the data. Okay, so you might have calculated your aggregate of marks. So what you have done, you have added your values, okay, and then you have divided that by total number of semesters, or even you can consider the sum of all the marks of all the semesters divided by maximum marks of all the semesters. That is an aggregate which you have calculated for your marks. Okay, so now coming to the aggregation of data. So in case of aggregation of data, say we'll be combining the two or more objects into a single object. That is called as an aggregation. See, aggregation is nothing but, say in case of your data set, we will be having a collection of objects here. So collection of objects, what I'm going to do is I will be combining them. Okay, and I will combine them and I will form it as a single object. So that combination of objects, okay, at the aggregation of the objects, that is called as an aggregation here. Okay, so here, see, we have got one of the phrase like less is more. That is, if you have got less data, okay, so that data will be having more quality. That is the meaning here. So always we prefer to have a less data because data mining algorithms, they are going to work effectively with the less quantity of data. So our aim is we want to reduce always the quantity of data which is present here. So one of the technique is that is aggregation, where we will be combining two or more objects into a single object. Okay. So I'll give you one example here. So see here in this table, we have got the that is sales data. Okay, that is transactions data. See, this data is actually about the number of sales of products here in various different locations. So how many number of products, okay, or how many number of sales of the products that has happened in Chicago and then Minneapolis. Okay, so all these are the locations or the cities in the USA. Okay, so at these locations, so how many items have been sold, that data is present in this table. Okay. But this data, see, it contains thousands or millions of rows. Okay, so for performing the data analysis, it will be quite difficult for me. So what I can do is, say I can combine the data, okay, or I can aggregate the data of the transactions here. Okay, so for example, see, instead of maintaining each single record, okay, for each of the cities here, that is, for example, if you observe here in this snapshot, we have got two rows for the city Chicago. So instead of maintaining two rows or 10 rows or 1,000 rows, so what we can do is we can combine the sales of the data with respect to that location. Okay, so if there are 1,000 locations, I can combine all the data of the 1,000 locations. Okay, so 1,000 rows, sorry, not location. For each specific location, I need to combine all the 1,000 rows, and then I can maintain that as a single row in the table. Okay, so that is, for example, if there are 1,000 rows for the Chicago, so then combine all the data of those 1,000 rows and then keep it as a single row. So here I'm combining two or more objects into a single object. That is, for this example, say this transaction data, see I'm doing the aggregation here, and I'm replacing all the transactions of a single store, that is with respect to one of the location, into a store wide transaction here. So if there are, say, 10,000 rows for the Millipolis, okay, then combine all those 10,000 rows and maintain it as a single row. Okay. That is the way which we can combine the data. Okay, so of that is sales of the products with respect to different locations here. That is my main aim is, say I want to reduce the quantity of data which is present in my table, so that I can efficiently apply my data mining algorithms or the techniques here. So I hope that, say, everyone understood this example. That is where we are combining the data of the sales of products, and we will replace the locations, that is different locations data, by just putting one row for each of the location here. Okay. So now coming to the thing, that is how we can perform the aggregation here. Okay. So now see, if you observe, see, we have got different types of attributes in this data. Okay, so see here, see, some of the attributes are, that is item, for example, it is a categorical attribute, that is string type of attribute. Okay, and then price is that is numeric attribute. Okay, and then date is also numeric attribute. So if it is a numeric attribute, so you can perform the aggregation by summing all these values and then by considering the average of this. For example, Chicago, here I got two rows here. I can add these two values and I can find the average, and that can be kept in a aggregated row. Okay, and even in the date also, so what you can do is see instead of maintaining the that is individual dates here, so what you can do is you can mention the months here. Okay, that is how you can aggregate the data. So this is for the month, that is sixth month. Okay, instead of that you can just mention a month, that is number here. And here for the numeric attributes you can take the average. So what about the categorical attributes here? So like item, see item I can't combine. Okay, so just directly that watch and the battery, see they can't be combined directly. So what I can do is see instead of mentioning the item names there, I can mention it as all items. So all item means that it can be any category of item here, whether it is watch or battery or shoes. Okay. So that is how we can perform the aggregation with respect to different types of attributes. So it is a numeric attribute. Then we can that is calculate the average. Okay. Then that can be kept. Okay. And suppose if it is a date, again we can mention the month or the year there instead of mentioning the that is individual day. And for the categorical attributes like strings, what we need to do is, say we need to use the phrase like all instead of mentioning the individual item names. Just mention it as all types of items. Okay, that is how we can combine the data here. Okay, now coming to the advantages of this aggregation. Okay, so obvious advantages. See, one, you reduce the number of rows which are or number of records which are present in the table. See, there will be less number of records or the rows in the table after aggregation. So what is the obvious advantage? Advantage is, say, it is going to require less amount of memory, and also processing time is also going to reduce. So that is one of the advantage. So it requires less amount of memory to store that data, and also processing time is also going to reduce because see, obviously, if you got the 10,000 rows before aggregation, and after aggregation, if you get just 1,000 rows, see the processing time will be more for the 10,000 rows and less for the 1,000 rows. That is one of the advantage. So it requires less amount of memory, and also processing time will be less here. Okay. And also, see, one of the advantage of performing the aggregation is, see, as I mentioned, see, some of the algorithms in the data mining, see, they are not going to work with a large quantity of data. So such algorithms will be very expensive. See, if you want to use any kind of a data mining algorithm with a large quantity of data, okay, so it is not going to work properly with that large quantity of data. Okay, so if you reduce the quantity of the data, then it will be very efficient to perform the data mining algorithm. So there will be some of the expensive algorithms. See, those expensive algorithms, see, they can work only with the small quantity of data which we get after performing aggregation. That is also one of the advantage. That is, aggregation is going to allow you to use the more expensive data mining algorithms. And then, see, coming to the next thing, that is about the scope of the data. Okay, so there will be a change in the scope of data here. Okay, so instead of that is providing a low level view of the data, you can provide the high level view of the data. Okay, so that is, for example, see, I told that, see, I have combined the data in the previous table with respect to that is locations. Okay, so that is each and every low level detail, like detail of the sales for each of the individual, that is cities, we have combined that and we have represented it as a high level data. That is, only a single row is maintained there. So here it is going to change the scope of the data here. So the low level data or the V will be converted into a high level view of the data here using aggregation. That is also one of the advantage. Okay, and coming to the behavior of the objects here, see, behavior of the objects is going to change based on the size of the data also. See, if the data is less, see, the behavior of the group of objects will be different, or the group of attributes will be having completely different behavior compared to the small quantity of data. Okay, so the behavior of group of objects or the attributes see it will be stable here. It is not going to change frequently in the less quantity of data. Okay, so compared to a large quantity of data. For example, see if you consider the aggregated values like averages, okay, so or the aggregates or the totals, see it is not going to vary frequently here. There will be less variability in that data compared to the individual objects or the attributes here. So behavior of the group of objects or the attributes, see it will be stable. See, whenever you consider a group of aggregated data compared to the individual objects or the attributes. So individual objects or the attributes will not be stable here. Okay. So these are the advantages of using the aggregation. So first advantage is, see it is going to consume less amount of memory and the processing time. Okay, and also with the help of that is aggregation, see we can even use the more expensive data mining algorithms. Okay, that is also one of the advantage. And then say we'll be converting the scope of the data from the low level view to high level view. So instead of providing the low level view, we'll be providing a high level view of data using aggregation. That is the second advantage. And third advantage is, see compared to the behavior of the objects or the attributes here, see individual objects or the attributes, see they will not be stable compared to the group of objects or the aggregates. Okay, so that is the third advantage. Okay, then what is the disadvantage of aggregation? So if you combine the data and if you maintain less number of records here, so obvious disadvantages, see you will be losing the detailed data. Okay, so some of the interesting details will be lost here. That is the disadvantage. Okay, so for example, if you consider your that is aggregate of your marks, so if you maintain only your aggregate, so you'll not be able to understand, okay, so what is the marks so which you have got in each of the semesters. Okay, so you'll be able to know only your complete average. Okay, so instead of knowing the that is individual marks, that is semester marks, that is one of the disadvantage, that is you will be losing the interesting details or the interesting information if you perform the aggregation. Okay, so this is about the aggregation. See, aggregation is nothing but, say, combining the two or more objects into a single object. See, in this example, so what we have done is, instead of maintaining the records or the sales information for each and individual sale of product here for each of the location, we will combine the data with respect to the location, and that will be maintained in a table. Okay. And I have mentioned what are the advantages and the disadvantages. Now coming to the second, that is data pre-processing technique. So second technique is about the sampling. Okay. So as the name says here, sample. Okay, so I think you might have seen in the hospital, they will be collecting a sample of blood. If they want to perform any kind of test, they will be collecting a sample of blood. They will not collect the whole blood. Okay, only part of blood will be collected. So that part of blood is called as a sample. So here also, see in this data mining, see sample is nothing but it is the subset of the data objects here. For example, see if you have got the 1,000 data objects here. So in that 1,000 data objects, if you choose only that is the 10 data objects, so that 10 data objects is going to form a sample. That is part of the data objects. Okay, so subset of the data objects which I will be using to perform my analysis. Okay, that is called as a sampling. So with the help of sampling, okay, so sampling is an approach, okay, so which we will be using here for selecting a subset of the data objects uh, for performing the analysis. So just remember this one, sampling, as the name says here, sampling is, it is a method which I can use to select a subset of objects for performing my analysis. Okay. Then what is the motivation for using this sampling in the that is statistics and the data mining? Even some of these statistic people, okay, statisticians and data mining people, see they will be using sampling here. Then what is the use of using this sampling? What is the need? Why I need to use this sampling? See, in case of statistics, okay, so I need to use that is a large quantity of data in case of statistics. See, if you want a large quantity of data, it will be very, very expensive and time consuming to collect large quantity of data. Okay. So instead of using that large quantity of data, what I can do is only a part of data I can collect, or a part of data objects I can collect. Okay, so that is one of the reason for using sampling in the statistics. Okay, so in statistics, say if you want to use a large quantity of data, so it will be very expensive. You can't get the entire set of data because you need to pay a more amount, and also time will be very consumed. Much amount of time will be consumed here. So it is time consuming and also expensive in case of statistics. So instead of that, what I can do is only a subset of data objects I can choose for performing my experiments in the statistics. So statisticians, they are going to use the sampling here in order to obtain an entire set of object that is interest or data of interest, which will be very expensive or time consuming. Okay, so because of this, they will be choosing only a subset of it. Now coming to the data mining. Okay, so in case of data mining, so see here, if you have got a large quantity of data, see on that large quantity of data, if you are performing your data mining algorithm, again it will be very expensive and time consuming. See, as I said, if you got the 10,000 objects here, and if you're applying your data mining algorithm on those 10,000 objects, see, it will be very expensive and also time consuming. Instead of that, if you choose only 10 objects here, on those 10 objects, if you apply your algorithm, so it is going to process very faster, and also it will not be expensive. So here data miners, see, they are going to sample here because say it will be very expensive or time consuming to process all of the data which you have got. Okay. In case of sampling, say sampling algorithms, say it is going to reduce the size of the data because you will be choosing only a subset of the data objects here. Okay, so that you can even perform the expensive algorithms on that data. So expensive algorithms, see, if you apply that on a large quantity of data, again, the cost will be more and also time will be more. So instead of that, see, if you got only a part of data, subset of data objects, see on that using sampling, so you can perform easily any kind of expensive data mining algorithm. Okay. So then what is the principle of sampling here? Okay. So just try to understand this one. So using a sample will work almost as well as using the entire data set if the sample is representative. Okay. So you need to choose a sample such that it must be representative here. I will tell you what exactly a representative means here. Okay. So the principle of sampling here is, see, if I'm using a sample, okay, so if I'm performing any kind of data mining algorithm on that sampling, see, it is going to work exactly as if you're working on a complete or entire data set or the entire data. See, for example, say if you're performing any algorithm on subset of data here. Okay, so for example, you got some of the algorithms like frequent item set mining. Say that will be studying in third module. See, if you're performing that frequent item set generation on subset of data, whatever result you're going to get on the subset of data, okay, so the same result you'll be getting if you apply the frequent item set generation on the entire data. So if the same result if you got, then such sample subset of data will be called as representative. Okay. So even in your class also, for example, see, uh, if I want to convey something, see what I'm going to do is I will be selecting one representative that is called as CR, class representative. See, for that person, I will be conveying whatever I want to convey. So he's going to convey to you people. That is, from a set of students, I have selected one person as a representative here. Okay, so that representative will be representing your class. So in the same way here also, say I'm using one subset of that is data here. So that subset of data, it will be giving you the same result as if you're performing the data mining algorithm on the entire data. So if you get the same result, then we are going to say that that sample is representative. So this is the key principle of sampling. That is, using a sample, it is going to work as if you're using the entire data set here. That is, at that time, we will be calling this sample as a representative. For example, see, if you consider the representative property here, see, this sample is called as a representative. Okay, so if it has got the same property or the behavior as the original set of data. So whatever the behavior or the characteristics your original data has got, it's the same behaviors or the properties your sample must have. So if your sample has got the same property or the behavior or the characteristic, as that of your original data, then we are going to call such sample as representative. So representative sample is a sample that has got the same property as that of the original data. For example, if you're performing a mean operation here on the set of data objects, okay, so if you got the 1,000 data objects and you perform the mean, and you have got one sample that has got only 10 objects, so you're calculating the mean on those sample. So if you get the same mean, okay, that is for mean for the 10 objects, if it is same as for the mean of 1,000 objects, then we are going to say that this set of objects or the sample is representative. So that is the mean of these data objects which are present in the sample. So they will be, if they give the same mean as if you perform the mean on the complete set of data objects, then we can call this set of objects or the sample as representative. Okay, so they must have the same property in order to, if you want to call them as a representative sample, they must have the same set of properties and the characteristics here. Okay, so such kind of that is a set of objects will be called as a representative sample. Okay, so just try to understand this. See, sampling is an approach. So using this approach, we can select a subset of the data objects for performing the analysis. See, whether it is statistics or data mining, see, the main aim for using the sampling is same. That is, you can't perform your statistics experiments on the complete set of data. So if you perform the experiments on the complete set of data, it will be very, very expensive and also time consuming. Instead of that, what I can do, I can perform my experiments only on a subset of data, that is called as a sample. So the same thing is applied even in the data mining also. So in case of data mining, so it will be very, very expensive and time consuming in order to perform the algorithm on the entire set of data. So instead of that, what you can do, you can reduce the size of the data. That is, you can choose only a subset of sample or the subset of data objects here, so that you can perform the expensive data mining algorithms here. Okay. Then coming to the principle of sampling here. So in case of sampling, we are going to say that the sample is representative. See if it has got the that is same set of properties or the behavior as that of the original data objects here. Okay, so it means that, see, if you are using a sample here, see, it is going to work as if you are working on the entire data set. So that sample will be representative. When it will be called as representative sample, see, a sample is called as representative if it is giving you the same result. Okay, so if you get the same result by performing the operation on the subset compared to the entire data set, then we can call such sample as a representative sample. Okay, so one of the example is, for example, if you are calculating the that is average of the data objects here. Okay, so if you get the same average or the mean on the sample as that of the entire data objects, then we can say that this set of objects is represented. Okay, so next is about the, that is the types of that is sampling. So better see that we will discuss in the next class. Okay, so now just wait for 5 minutes. Okay, I will take your attendance.